Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Please recognize Representative Proctor for his farewell address.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Floor Leader, colleagues, friends, public servants, and Representative Sears. I know that a lot of you have waited for this day for many, many years. Yes. I want to thank also Representative Fettgetter for allowing me to give my retirement speech before he gives his. Thank you, Scott. I wish you all the best in your life after the legislature. This has been an incredible journey that began for me in March of 2000 when I was a page for then Representative Ostrander. It's because of that opportunity that I had when I was a senior in high school that I started falling in love with the idea of serving my community in public service. In fact, I want to thank, I don't know if Phil is here today or not, but thank you, Phil, for your influence on my life. And if it wasn't for Phil Ostrander, I'd probably be the Republican congressman from the 1st Congressional District right now, so thanks a lot, Phil. All of us who stay away from our families to come do this job know that it's our spouses and our children that pay the highest cost for our service. My wife and children are here today in the North Gallery with our girls and her parents. Tara, thank you for standing by me in the hard times and in the good times. Thank you for being my partner on this journey. You're my rock, my strength, and my best friend. To my daughters, Molly and Caroline, thank you for letting Daddy be away from you, trying to make life better for you and for all the kids of our state. Your daddy loves you very much. He's very proud of you, and Daddy's coming home soon. I started my campaign for the State House of Representatives in April of 2005 as a 22-year-old public school teacher. I was a little stubborn then, and not much has changed. I ran against a 10-year Republican incumbent who was in line to be the Speaker Pro Tem of the House. We were outraised and outspent many times over, but I walked through 2 pairs of shoes, knocked over 14,000 doors, knocked the district 3.5 times, and we won that race by 217 votes. I've been blessed to be reelected the last 5 elections without opposition, so I'm not really sure what the majority party strategy was there, but thank you. In that first race, I was supported by some wonderful people who knocked on doors with me and aided my efforts. The Tulsa firefighters, the AFL-CIO, Mannix Barnes, Seth Watkins, Kyle Mead, Brandon Bycroft, Chris McCall. By the way, if you have a best friend from college whose name is Chris McCall, and you're having dinner with the Speaker of the House, Charles McCall, it's perfectly possible to call the Speaker of the House Chris. Not that that ever happened, that's a hypothetical. So I want to thank Daniel Rodriguez, Jason McIntosh, Tyler Tolley, Brian Bigby, Jared Snyder, Sean Reese, and Tim Byington. Thank you each for your friendship and for believing in me. I want to thank my legislative assistants, most of whom are in the North Gallery also. Ray Denicky, Kyle Mead, Pam King, Annie Mintz, and Abigail Weiland. Thank you for your service to our state. Thank you for making me look good even when I didn't deserve it, and for all the, over the course of the last 12 years, literally thousands of constituent calls you've taken, emails you've responded to, veterans that you've helped, senior citizens that you've helped, single moms that you've helped with DHS. If you all could give them a round of applause, and all of our legislative assistants. I spent the first 6 months of my time in this building being really in awe of how I got here. I was the youngest member for 4 years, so Representative, I know what that feels like. So I was really in awe of how I got here and just in awe of this building. I've really spent the last 11.5 years trying to figure out how most of the rest of you got here. Today marks my 4,176th day as a member of this House. I've spent 1/3 of my life as a member of the Oklahoma House of Representatives. I've served with 214 members of this House. I've traveled nearly the equivalent of circumnavigating the globe twice, traveling from my home in Tulsa to the Capitol in Oklahoma City, or as Senator Murdoch would say, 1 week time. He does that pretty often. I've tried my best to live my legislative life under the mantra of Will Rogers that I never met a man I didn't like. And that was true of my service here until I met Representative Caldwell. I'm the fourth representative since 1965 over a 53-year period to serve Northeast Tulsa's House District 77. Representing my friends, my neighbors, and the blue-collar workers of Northeast Tulsa has been the honor of a lifetime. The people of Northeast Tulsa are hardworking, and all they ask is for a fair shot at the American dream, and I've done my best to try to provide that opportunity the best that I could. To the people of Northeast Tulsa, thank you from the bottom of my heart for the faith, trust, and responsibility that you've given to me over the last 12 years. I've never forgotten that my first responsibility is to the veterans, senior citizens, workers, and children and families of Northeast Tulsa. One of the highlights of my service was when my good friend Gary Bands asked me to be the chairman of Eastern Oklahoma Honor Flights. We raised millions of dollars. We took over 20 flights, took over 2,000 World War II veterans and Korea veterans to Washington, D.C. I was able to travel on 11 of those flights personally as a guardian, and I will cherish those memories. I'm proud of the friendships that I've made across the aisle, folks who, despite being in a different political party, having different visions and different worldviews, I was able to work with and have friendships with. I want to specifically highlight Representative Mike Christian, Representative David Derby, and Representative Shane Jett for their friendships. I also have a few folks in the House that are still in the House I'd like to thank. Representative Stone, thank you for your tenacity and for your fight. I could not be more proud of you. To the members of the majority, Representative Stone is my gift to you for the next 8 years. Representative Williams, there are some folks that you meet in life that end up becoming more like brothers than like friends, and Corey, you're that to me. I'm very thankful for your friendship, and I'm extremely proud to stand by you. I would fight in a foxhole next to you any day of the week. And we can attest that if you've never been to San Francisco in May, it's absolutely fantastic. You guys should try that out. And to one of my best friends, my brother and my leader, Representative Inman, what you've been able to accomplish with the superminority is nothing short of amazing. The way you led a superminority caucus to the mountaintop from the valley is something I will always remember. Many times you took the bullets for all of us. You stood up front and took the blows so that many of us did not have to. When I look back on these 12 years, it'll be your friendship that I'll treasure the most. I would march into hell with you any day of the week, my friend. You are a true champion. You are a true champion of working men and women, and I pray that your vision of Oklahoma, where people come first before powerful special interest, is one day a reality. I was raised by two amazing parents who taught me to do right and risk the consequences. They're both retired school teachers. My father, Eddie Proctor, taught 22 years at Greeley Elementary in North Tulsa and worked as a barber on the weekends to help me be able to go to college. My mother was a special education teacher for 29 years and also worked as a mechanic on the weekends to make ends meet. One of the greatest heroes in this life for me is my grandmother Proctor, who when I was 4 years old dropped everything in her life to help raise me. She is now 93 years old and is watching from home. She taught me to love God and to serve people. I love you, grandmother, and thank you. My grandfather Proctor was a World War II veteran, a boxer, a minister, and also a barber. He helped raise me as well. He was my hero, and a big part about why I was involved in the Honor Flight program. And I wanted nothing more in this life to make him proud. Every Tuesday night, I would watch Tuesday night fights with my grandfather. We would always cheer for the underdogs. And I asked my grandfather one day why we did that. Why did we cheer for underdogs? And my grandfather told me because we were underdogs. And that didn't really mean a whole lot to me then, but it does now. Because I now know that my grandfather was talking about blue-collar folks. My grandfather raised me and taught me that we don't always fight the fights that we know we will win. We must fight the fights that need to be fought. For the last 12 years, I have fought alongside some courageous people who have fought for the least among us and who fought the fights that needed to be fought. We know that when we go to work each day and we suit up, that we're not going to win, probably. But we suit up anyway and we step into the ring. I can't think of many honors higher than to be called an Oklahoma House Democrat, because that means I'm a member of a group that my grandfather Proctor would be proud of, a group who championed blue-collar families, a group who fought for the underdogs. To my caucus, I have been honored to be one of you, fight beside you, and try to make this state we love a better place. To my Democratic caucus members, I leave you with the words of Senator Kennedy, and it is my hope that they will guide you in the fight and the struggles yet to come. For all those whose cares have been our concern, the work goes on, the cause endures, the hope still lives, and the dream shall never die. May God bless you, and may God bless the state of Oklahoma.